I'm a mentee of Philip Adams. He taught me how to do options trading, and he actually planted a seed that I didn't even know would flower into me actually becoming financially free. You feel me? And me on that journey was me learning how to rethink my mind around money and how money is literally the way that people can all buy back their time, right? Because we're out here using our time, which is a limited resource, our muscles, which are limited resources, to build up wealth, and then we build up that wealth in money, which is a depreciating asset, so it's hard for us to get there, right? So now he taught me how to use investment vehicles such as options trading or the stock market, and then now it actually is giving me years back on my life.
Okay, and I can tell that's important because you said you value buying back your time.
Yes, sir.
What would you do with that time? If you had it back?
With that time, I would help other people start their journey on buying back their time, right? So like, what I don't want to do is I don't want to separate myself from other people that are not around me. I want to incorporate myself into the place where people aren't really necessarily hearing his knowledge on a day-to-day. I can give them that one seed, and then like how Phil did with me, plant that seed, and then I'll run into him a year from now, and then they're like, bro, like you really helped me out. Like you really changed how I see money, and now I have XYZ going on. I'm invested in XYZ now, and then like now that is what my main goal is if I had like all my time back.
Okay. So how long have you been in the game doing stock options and stock trading in general?
Yeah. And then I didn't even tell you, my name is Tahir, right? And I'm the latest iteration of a cosmic vibration that's been around since the beginning of time, right? So I don't really take my body and my physical attributes, right? Like, oh yeah, I got a car here, I got this. I don't really lead into that, but I've been on this journey specifically with finances since 2021, right? So it's like, it's been 4 years, going on 4 years, and I have seen and talked to some of the most valuable people in my life since I actually started realizing that I was like them, right? Like everybody didn't start off born into money. For me, you have to acquire a taste for money, right? And then once you acquire that taste, you have to disdain and you have to hate poverty with such a passion that anything that takes away from your life, you feel me, whether that be an argument or whether that be something being too expensive, right? It has to hurt you to your core for that to not be your reality.
To hurt you to your core. I love that. So you said you've had the opportunity to connect with valuable people.
Right.
How are you identifying valuable people, and how do you define that? What is a valuable person?
A valuable person is a person that can have a conversation with you for free.
Okay.
Right? You feel me? Because like, if a person's like, oh yeah, bro, you want to talk to me? If a person's like, oh yeah, you want to talk to me, right? You have to pay me X, Y, Z. That's a person that has a different level of value, right? His value is basically tied to his time. But a person that can take time, right? Something they're never getting back.
Right.
And they can talk to you and they can have a conversation with you and they can run on for who knows how long. That's what real value is. So it's like the person at the gas station that asked for $1, right? I give him $1 and he was like, bro, yeah, this is gonna happen for you. And then I'll just sit there and listen to him, you feel me? And then it's that same person when I'm in the mall and I'm talking to him and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, King. He was like, King, I call people King, right? And then now we have an organic conversation that built up off of like-minded hot words, right? Because like the things that I'm thinking in my brain, it's the same thing thinking in your brain. And then as soon as you say what I'm thinking, it's like, oh, I was just...
There's already a connection.
Right.
Exactly. So that's a compliment you say to people. You say, thanks, King, or hello, King.
Or
Is that
queen,
something you
yes.
say to men?
Yes,
okay,
yes,
and
yes,
you say
yes.
queen to women?
Yes.
How long have you been doing that, your whole life?
No, it's actually started in 2021 as well. I had to raise the rent of my mind.
So how would you address people before?
I was like, how you doing?
Okay.
It would just be cut and dry. There was no activators, right? When I say king or queen, that's an activator, right? So now it's like, or like,
what is an activator? Tell me.
An activator, like, you know how you say how you doing, and everybody just instantly says fine. I'll say how are you feeling. That's an activator. Now it causes you to actually think about what I'm saying to you instead of just responding to the mundane rundown of life.
It's like a catalyst for a more quality response.
Right. And then the person would be like, oh, how am I doing? I'm like, it's good to be seen. They'd be like, right? But it's just something that's better than, oh, I'm doing fine, I'm here. Right. Oh yeah, it's just another day. Things like that. It's really not necessarily depressing, but it's low vibrational. And that low vibration can seep into your mind, and now you can only see one side of a coin. Absolutely. Right? Instead of seeing the whole possibility, right? People be like, oh yeah, my day was trash, but I've never closed one side of a door, right? So I've never experienced only a bad day. You feel me? It was good, but I'm just focused in on everything I didn't get.
Okay.
Right?
I love it. It's a great perspective to have. So, would you feel comfortable sharing value about something specific you've learned recently?
Okay.
With anybody who may be watching, maybe it's something you learned recently, anything like that?
What I've learned recently, man, is don't let your environment change your heart. Let your heart change your environment.
I love it.
Most definitely.
Okay, so one more thing then. So help me understand a bit more about the stock market. Can you let me know what options are in the stock market?
Okay, an options contract is the right, not the obligation, to buy or sell a piece of a company. A share is when you own a piece of a portion of a company, and then an options contract is 100 of those shares, right?
100 of those shares.
100 of those shares is one options contract, and they can vary depending on the day of the week, because in the beginning of the week it's more expensive for a contract, and then towards like Thursday and Friday they become cents on the dollar, right? So now you can use those cents on that contract. If you know it's going to go up, that's a call. So now you can make money off of it going up, but you can also make money when it goes down. That's a put, right? So now you can use your knowledge.
So let me understand. So you can make money if the stock market goes down. Is that correct?
Just the value of a particular company, well, the estimated value of a particular company. So for me, because the whole stock market, you could trade options contract on the SPY, which is the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies in America. You could trade options in there, but I would rather a person go to like one specific niche. Like if they're into technology, go to Nvidia. If they're into apparel, go to Lululemon. Or if they're into healthcare, go to Eli Lilly. You feel me? And then now you're not going against the whole volatility of the whole market. You're going for this one particular sector, there are 11 sectors. You can go into each one sector, find out how that sector works, how it makes money. Because let's say you're into shoes, right? You're going to go into the apparel because you know that, the cost of materials, the tariffs, the things like that. You can use that. You can use your past knowledge to gauge future earnings.
I love it.
Right.
So if there's 100 shares, that either has to be extremely expensive or it must be extremely volatile. So it must be one. So is it volatile or expensive?
It's all about how you look at the word expensive, right? Expensive means that something is out of your budget. But if you're able to pay for it, it's not expensive. It has to be now valuable, right? So it's more valuable to me to spend my money in the stock market because I know there's a possibility of it bringing back friends. Or somebody can see some shoes that depreciate as soon as you walk out the store with them, and they'll see that is more valuable. So that's what they'll spend their money on.
So help me understand that. Okay, so
Right.
you said 100 shares. And this is per contract. You have
per
to have
contract.
the capital to buy all 100 of those shares.
Oh, no sir. So like I can go in there and there's like a strike price, right? Strike price is probably like 125, let's say, for Microsoft. You feel me? I'll go in there and then now I want to put $1.25 for that contract. You feel me? I'll put it in there and I can lose $126 because I bought it at that strike price. But you can put things in the order like a stop loss and a take profit, and then that is how you can certify your gains and maximize your losses.
Oh, see, these are pretty quick trades.
Yeah, oh yeah. Some are day trades, some are swing trades, some are leap trades. It's all up to you and how you want to classify yourself as a trader, right? If you want to scalp, you can go in there with no money and compound interest your way to 100 grand in 30 days.
Okay.
But it's all about your strategy and how you want to take your first step into your investment journey.
Well, so do you have any insight on how these option contracts are priced? Because I know SPY is valued at $300 plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to get 100 of those, correct me, that's about like
$3 grand.
Yeah,
$3
I think it's like 30 maybe, isn't it?
No. If it's 300 and you get in 10 shares, well, 100, yeah, so it's 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
100.
So, but to get an option contract to control 100 shares of SPY, you don't need 30,000.
No, sir.
You can do it for less than a few $100.
Way less than a few $100.
Wow.
For a person that can put in $50, and then they can control 500 shares, it moves up 5 cents, and you make $5 grand.
So help me understand the science behind this. I guess the math behind it. So if you're able to buy it, who's selling?
If you're able to, it's all based on supply and demand, right? A company has a certain amount of market capital, and that's how much volume or how many assets they actually can sell out to a person, right? So now if they have millions and trillions, right, it's nothing for a person to get a couple thousand out of nothing in minutes. You feel me? So like it just depends on how well off is that company, right? Like a Walmart has trillions or hundreds of millions of shares, and then you get a company that has a couple thousand shares, right? So now it's going to be on that supply and demand. Like some people that buy it, they never plan on giving it up.
Right. So does liquidity have a role also in options? Because you just said Walmart having thousands, even millions of shares versus a small company. I imagine there'd be less to buy.
Right.
So how does that affect? I don't know if you want to go all into stocks.
Oh yeah.
I'm intrigued by what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm all into whatever you want to talk about, man. Because knowledge is the fountain of where you can start to pour into yourself, right? So now, like how you were saying with the stocks, right? Hold on, what was your question?
About the volume.
Yeah. Liquidity is one of the most key points in investing, right? You have to be able to not put everything that you have in your pockets into this one machine, right? You have to be able to put a couple things in periodically over a period of time to build up, you feel me, your repertoire, right? Or your arsenal. So now you can go through, make certain things liquid, so now you can branch out into other investment forms, right? Like real estate, stock market, or the options, right? So now that you have actual liquid money, or certain companies have liquid money, guess what they do? It's something called drip, you feel me? It's like they'll use their money to reinvest it into their business, right? So if you don't have no liquidity, you actually can't do anything because now all your money is tied into a certified investment.
Wow. So are there any barriers to trading options? Is it for like only a sector of investors? Do you have to be qualified, or can anybody?
Hey man, one thing about the stock market, it doesn't care about your age, your race, your gender. It doesn't care about your sexual orientation or anything that everybody puts at the highest of highs, right? All it worries about is, are you willing to learn and how much experience do you have, right? If you have a lot of experience, it's gonna pull back a lot of those introductory, them introductory
Information.
yeah, stepping stones, right? But like if you're a brand new trader, bro, they will help you get money. They will be like, hey bro, this is what a stock is, this is what a bond is, this is how you look at a 52-week high and low, this is how you can look at a moat. You feel me? They'll tell you what a moat is, and some people think a moat is what protects a castle, which it is. You feel me? But it's also what keeps competitors away from being in your space.
Oh, okay.
Right? So now if I'm a business, like one of my investments, I have figs. I mean, this is free for y'all, man. Y'all better go look into figs, man. It's only $4 right now. When it hits 40, y'all gonna say, "Oh man, that guy was talking about it."
It's called figs, right?
It's called figs. You feel me? It's an apparel brand. You feel me? That deals with scrubs and other medical gear. You feel me? We're in Hampton Roads right now, which is the biggest metropolitan area in America. 1.8 million people in 3 cities, which is Norfolk, Chesapeake, and Virginia Beach. And we're the biggest medical hub in America, right? So now I'm looking. Oh, you bet. This is a new up-and-coming brand that deals with medical. I know about medical, you feel me? So now I'm gonna invest my money there. So now as that company starts to grow, you feel me, we'll start seeing more figs out, you feel me? And then now it actually...
So you really hit the market at a global scale perhaps.
Right,
yeah.
Especially if you can identify a quality company, right? Like that's the biggest thing, is identify quality companies, not quality trends.
Okay.
Right.
I tell you what's number one. I know we've been going for a bit, but I'm so intrigued. I kind of want to keep going. I just want to make sure that you have the stamina to keep going.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely.
So what is a quality company? How do you determine what a quality company is?
A quality company, because there's 3 stages of a company. A company could be in growth, could be in stability, or could be in the decline stages, right? So a quality company is a company that's either in the growth or in the stability phase, and then they have less debt to income.
Less
right?
debt to income.
Right.
And that's all public information from.
Yeah. Of course. This is all public information. You don't have to pay no subscription to nothing. All you have to do is actually be able to read what you're looking at.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying is like if a person can take the time to learn a skill, now they don't have to worry about working their bones. You feel me? To make these ends meet, you can work your mind and put yourself in positions to be able to either deploy capital or gain capital by asking an offer.
I love it. Okay. So one more question then. Okay. Actually, maybe a couple more. If you're
Okay. Yeah. Come on.
Okay. So, is there a particular company besides figs? Is there a large company that you're looking into right now that has a lot of liquidity in their stock?
Waste management.
Waste management.
Waste management. This is the people that comes to take your trash. They will never stop taking your trash. Everybody's going to be throwing stuff away for infinity, right? So why don't we get into like the waste management, right? The people that recycle and things of that nature. So now we can put our money in there, and as that grows, we grow.
Okay.
Right?
I love it. Thank you so much.
Most definitely, man. I appreciate you, Levi. Keep doing your thing, man.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.